Right and wrong ways of handling disputes. Now, if you get into an argument, into a dispute, a disagreement, you've got to know how to handle it. And this is not in us. We're not born with this. We have to learn it. Before considering the ways in which arguments escalate, let's remind ourselves of the Apostle Paul's command, not suggestion, command. Ephesians 5:33. Nevertheless, let each one of you in particular love his own wife, and let the wife respect her husband. Now, our identities are who we are, or who we think we are, how we think about ourselves. If we obey the word of God and put it into practice, then our identities are edified, built up. But if we've reacted badly because of miscommunication, if we've conveyed a lack of love to our wife or a lack of respect to our husband, either way, our feelings are going to be wounded. Let's look at a simple scenario. It's breakfast time. The wife comes down late for breakfast. The husband makes a comment. The wife feels hurt. What's he got to make a comment about me being just a couple of minutes late? Got to do my hair and so on. Thirdly, the husband justifies his comment. Look, you know I'm going to get the kids off to school and you come down late. The wife feels even more unloved and criticised. The husband says, oh, don't be so sensitive. You're sensitive about these things. It's nothing. And then the wife feels less loved and the petty disagreement can become a war. A little disagreement over just getting time for breakfast and then out to school with the kids can become a war. Now, in this exchange, there are 4 wrong ways of moving forward. The couple are still in the same house. They're still going to live together, but there is hostility, open or guarded hostility. Firstly, it depends on personalities or past emotional history. One of the spouses might say, okay, if you want a row, I'll give you a row. And that is called the fight option. A fight may develop and there'll be a short-term winner and a short-term loser. Now, that's not necessarily going to be the case, depends, as I say, on personalities of the couple and also the past emotional history. A second possibility is that one or both of them might consider about withdrawing. No, I'm taking no notice. So they just go to their own space. The wife might go to the kitchen, the husband to his office or the garden or wherever is their own space. And this is the flight option, not the fight option, but the flight option. So, thirdly, the couple might, oh well, it's always like this. I mean, let's put on a brave face, nothing's happened, just forget the conversation happened. And so they just ignore it. Nobody mentions it. And then they get a false peace, silence. Everything on the surface, apart from the silence, appears normal. This is the false peace option. And then fourthly, and this is the worst option, still staying with our F as the first letter, the fourth and worst option is to admit failure. One or both of them is so weary with this constant bickering, self-pity sets in, followed by depression. What's the point of going on with you? And so on, those sort of thoughts come. And isolation on either part. And it might include, oh, might as well kill myself. And so you've got all these things going on, different kind of options going on. If you want to fight, I'll give you one, or I'll just go to my own space, or I'll pretend that nothing happened, or I'll just give up. Now, all of these are pain avoidance strategies. We don't like being in pain, so we try and avoid pain. Let's consider another scenario briefly. Suppose in the couple there are elderly relatives. Now, Veronica and I have had to cope with this because both our mothers lived into their 90s. Elderly relatives, and coping with them, looking after them and supporting them and being there for them. Now, that led to quite a lot of disputes in between Veronica and I can tell you. Not knowing any better at the time, we went through the fight, flight and false peace strategies. Now, as an Englishman living in a French village, Veronica was my only kind of company, and therefore she had become my God. I didn't realise this, but she was the centre of my life, and without realising it, she'd become my idol. Now, as an idol, she had an ability, a rule over me, because if she decided to be cool with me, then my emotions were in tatters. So, happily, I now know there is a godly strategy, which by definition, because whatever you do in God will always work. So here's the strategy, steps to take. Number 1, renounce the idolatry of your wife or your husband. They are not the centre of your life. God is alone in that position. That position is already taken. His rightful place of source and giver of value, that's God's place. We will only then, once we resolve this situation and renounce this situation, I've looked upon you as my own, you are my life. Don't say things like that to your spouse. God is our life. Renounce the idolatry of our spouse, and only then will we be able to discern that there is a relationship issue causing problems in the couple. So that's the first thing. Get the idolatry of the wife out of the way. Secondly, discuss ways in which we were getting it wrong in our relationship messages between each one of us. Thirdly, apologise to your wife for not giving her the right value in the way we spoke to her, or in the way she didn't give us respect in the way she spoke to her husband. And then be determined to grow up and go on a voyage of discovery, a journey into what lies are there in your makeup, in your emotional makeup. What lies have you believed in your younger life about yourself? And each lie you've believed is like a virus, and it needs getting rid of. Okay, just like in a computer, viruses must be got rid of. Okay, that's the next thing on the agenda.